Hi there, I'm Eitan, and welcome back to the Wix Wiz. I talk to a lot of clients that tell me that they prefer using Excel spreadsheets instead of the Wix CMS because Excel allows you to do all these automatic calculations. So one thing I wanted to show you how to do is how to set up your Wix CMS and collections with data hooks so that when you change the data inside of the collection, it can run automatic calculations almost exactly like an Excel spreadsheet. So for example, here, if I have number 1 and number 2, I set up the logic so that when one of these is changed, it will show the sum of the two numbers. And if I go over here and change this also to 5, after the collection saves, this sum changed automatically to 10, very much like an Excel spreadsheet might once you change one of the values. So if you want to see how to do that and more, let's get started. So in order to implement this, the first thing you'll need, of course, is a Wix website, and you'll also want to head into dev mode. And if you haven't done so already, right after you're in dev mode, you're going to want to create the collection that you are going to be manipulating with the hooks and doing the automatic calculations on. So you can go over here to databases and create a collection. You can also do that through over here through the CMS, and you can also do it through your Wix website dashboard. And you very likely already have a CMS that you're trying to manipulate. So if you have it already, then you're good. I'm going to go ahead and create a collection over here. So I'm going to get started, and I'm just going to call my collection test. And I don't see the save button, so let me just zoom out for a second and hit create. So now that I've created my collection, I'm going to add some fields. So title field, it comes with by default, and I'm just going to add a field here that's going to be called number 1. So it's going to be a number field. So I'm going to call it number 1. And I'm going to add another number field that's going to be number 2. And I'm going to add a third field, which is also going to be a number, and it's just going to be sum. And what we're going to do is we're basically going to create an automatic calculation where when I put a number into 1 and 2, it'll automatically calculate the sum. Okay, so it's a very, very simple mathematical operation, but it's really just to show you the principles that will allow you to do more complex things based on what you want. And it doesn't only have to be numbers, it can also be text-related calculations and manipulations of the text, etc. So now that I have my collection, set up, I have to set up the hooks. And I'm going to give a general introduction to what hooks are. So hooks are basically the ability to add some custom logic at a certain point during the manipulation of a collection. So let me go over here and you'll see that if you click these three dots, okay, near the collection, and then you go here to add data hooks, and you click on that, it'll give you a list of all these different data hooks that you can add to the collection. And for example, before insert will run before you insert a new item to the collection. After insert will be after you insert the item to the collection. Before update, after update, remove, so all the CRUD operations, when you're querying a collection, etc. So in order to facilitate our automatic calculations, what we're going to be using is we're going to be using the after update hook. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to put in some custom logic that will run after you update the collection. So for example, if you take an existing item and you change number 1 to 3 and number 2 to 5, then this after update hook should run and we can add in whatever custom logic we want. So let me go ahead and add and edit the code. And you'll see after you do that, if you go to the public and backend code of your site and you go to the backend, you'll see that you automatically have this data.js file added. And this is a saved file in terms of Wix. So this is a file that's specifically used for these data hooks. And if you go ahead and opened it up, then you'll see that Wix has automatically added this test underscore after update hook into the backend file. And if I was to go and add another hook, it would just add it additionally here in the file, probably at the end of the file. Okay, so that's how to create the data hook. And now basically I can write whatever custom logic I want over here. So this item is the item that is after the update. Okay, and this will have all of the fields of that specific item. And then basically what I can do is just say, for example, item dot sum equals to item dot number 1 plus item dot number 2. And this will take the current item number 1 and number 2, add them together, and then assign them to the value of sum. And then here at the end, all I have to do is do return item, and that is it. Okay, we can also add in here some logs. So I'll add in here console.log item, and I'll add in here console.log item.number1 item.number2, just so we can see what they look like. And now all we need to do is go ahead and publish your website. So this will only work once you've published your site. It won't work on test sites. It won't work in preview mode. Okay, you have to publish your site with this hook. I'm going to open up the dashboard of the site just so that I can see the backend logs that are going to run here. And that's where we're going to see these console logs that we put in. So let me go here and I'm going to open up Developer Tools Logs, and I'm going to open this up in a new tab. And I'm just going to go in and open the log so that it's running while, so it's running while I do all this testing. So here inside of my editor now, this is all set up. I have the logs open, and all I need to do is make a change to my collection. So this can be done anywhere. This can be done from the dashboard. It can be done from the editor, anywhere you can open the collection from. I think it's coolest to see it here in the dashboard because, thank you for the update. Yeah, I think it's cool to do it here in the dashboard because it's really emphasizes kind of the no-codeness of these calculations once you've written out that little line of code in the hook. So if we go here into test, and let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see. So here now we currently don't have any items. So I need to add in a new item, and our hook isn't going to run yet because we didn't set up the hook to run when we add a new item. We set it up to work when an item is updated. So now I need to go ahead and update this item. So for example, I can go here and add number 1. So let's add in 1. And now it's saving. Okay, so the hook ran. We don't see anything here in sum, and that makes sense because we don't have a number 2 yet. So if I go here into the logs, we can see here that I got here 1 and null. So I got number 1 is 1 and number 2 is null because we didn't get anything for it yet. And here we see the full item. So this is the item that we're receiving inside of the hook, okay? And at the moment, we don't see anything here for sum, but that makes sense. Let's see what happens if I add here number 2, and then we let all changes are saved, and you can see here that sum is number 3, okay? And if I go ahead and I change, let's say number 1 to 5, and then click outside of the item, then you see all changes are saved, and that means that our hook ran, and you can see here that the sum is now 7. Okay, so this is how to set up your Wix collections so that they run automatic calculations, kind of like an Excel sheet. And I know this is a very, very simple example, but hopefully using these principles, you'll be able to implement whatever logic that you need inside of your collections and maybe make your life a little easier by using the Wix CMS instead of Excel sheets. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.